Hi people, my name is Sanjeevan. I am from Belief to Success, and this is Navin. He is one of the believers to his own success. So let's find out more about how he attained his success. Great. So hi Navin.
Hi. Sorry.
So Navin, let me ask you something.
Yes.
Answer me truthfully. Yeah.
Yep.
Chicken came first or the egg came first?
No, that's a tough question.
Yes.
I've heard a lot of people asking this question,
Okay.
but
So what's your opinion?
honestly, I don't know because, well, in order for an egg to come, there must be a chicken.
Okay.
But in order for the chicken to have come from somewhere,
Okay.
there must have been an egg.
Sure.
So to me, it's rather rather than which one came first. They both coexisted together. Adam.
Coexisted together. Wow. Okay, you nailed it. You answered it very seriously and very scientifically. Like, honestly, tell your answer. Do you want to know the true answer?
Yes.
Honest answer?
Yes.
Okay. The answer is I myself don't know. Anyway, Navin, I just want to know. You're having some kind of challenge, right?
Yes.
So, can you tell us more about your challenge?
Right. I was actually born premature at 6.5 months. And as a result of premature birth, I actually contracted a neurological disorder by the name of cerebral palsy. In my case, I have been impaired in the area of the brain which controls movement and use of limbs and coordination and reflexes. As such, I have difficulty walking.
Okay.
I have difficulty controlling muscle power, and I have difficulty in basically coordination and reflexes of all four limbs. Being the upper limb better than the lower limb. The lower limb is more affected due to the condition.
Okay, but I just want to know, having these challenges, how did you go through life, and what are the challenges which you faced?
See, life is always something that's very interesting, because life always gives different perspective each day as you live life. So for me, having this disability was already a part of life. But how it was difficult and why the difficulty actually started was because of the fact that I'm having this disability from the point of birth. And as such, as I was growing up during my early years, I could see that I was different from everybody else. Everyone around me, my neighbors, my schoolmates, even strangers who I see around my block or wherever I go, if they are around my same age, they are different from me. So the first challenge that ever occurred to me is that I myself, at the tender young age, did not understand what was going on with me.
And then, what other challenges you face as you grew up?
And as I grew up, I could see that things were getting slow, and my parents could see that my development was slower, much slower than my other able-bodied peers. And as such, when I went for my medical appointments and all that, they actually put me through an IQ test to see whether I'm cognitively all right and I'm cognitively able to comprehend issues that someone of my age should be able to comprehend. And thankfully I was able to go through the test, and I passed the test, and the doctors actually mentioned that Navin is good. He's able to, attend normal mainstream school. But then for parents at that era, in the late 80s, for the child being able to attend school itself was a big question, because then there was not such many establishments as special schools or gifted programs or epic programs and all these things.
Okay.
So the options were very limited.
Okay.
So getting a chance to attend school itself was a great achievement and a great happy moment for all of us. But the next challenge that came by is that since the doctors have certified that our child is able to attend a mainstream school, what can we do next? How do we integrate our child who has got this disability in him with a mainstream school curriculum? Who or which school would accept such a child into their system? How do we go about finding a suitable school? How do we go about explaining to the school management and the ministry that he has got certain special needs which needs to be taken care of? Certain accommodations need to be made so as to allow him to pursue his education.
Okay, so your challenges was for exercising, not on studies particularly.
Well, basically, yeah, I had issues in studying as well, but that was because of the fact that I was writing slower than my peers. I required more time to do things than my peers, but not because of having the lack of understanding on a cognitive front.
I see.
I had to come up with ways to overcome these challenges, whereby I would either borrow from my friend the notebook, bring it home and copy and take it down on my own leisure point. If I'm not able to do that, I have my caretakers with me. If it's a Tamil class for that matter, I have my caretaker with me who she's literate in Tamil, so she's able to take down the notes and everything. Other than that, if really I'm not able to borrow somebody's book to copy, I'll try and speak to the teacher to see whether they can give me the notes where I can copy down at my own leisure, or if they're able to photocopy the set of notes and give it to me, so that I don't have to go through the hassle of having to copy it, but I can just look at the photos, copy and refer and study directly from there. Also got my doctor's help to write into ministry to say that he needs more time to do certain things, and he needs additional time for his exams. Though primary school was generally alright, I had some teachers who weren't really understanding and receptive towards the condition and special needs and everything. They were like, demoralizing me every other day by saying that, oh, you are so slow, you can't do this, you can't do that. If you carry on going on at this rate, I don't know whether you're going to pass through this year. You're copying things down so slowly. I have no time to wait for you. I have to finish my syllabus. I have a timeline to follow. These kind of things were there. And, at that age of 7 and 8 years old, I was pretty upset and pretty worried because, one, they did not understand me. Two, I was not able to find the right way to articulate myself in order to enable them to understand me better. Because I was a child
how long back was this which happened? The
This
teachers
was
not
maybe
understanding?
when I was 7 or 8.
7 or 8. So which was how many years back from now?
This is about, I think, I'm 30 this year, so
Okay.
that's about 25 years, 23 years ago.
I see. So do you will you say that the amount of awareness about regarding disabilities and understanding them has risen since then?
Of course,
Of course.
Yeah. During my schooling days,
Yeah.
there was no such thing as support teachers and allied educators and counseling programs for people with disabilities. There was no so-called network in school itself
Okay.
to help these children.
Okay. So you told me about the issues, the challenges which you faced during your school times. Then after doing your school, what did you do?
Then I progressed on to secondary school from there.
Yeah.
Secondary 1 and secondary 2 was fine. It was
Okay.
as usual.
Okay.
Secondary 3, because I need help
Okay.
in moving from one classroom to another,
Okay.
and I also need help in washroom
I see.
needs and
Needs,
requirements.
okay.
So as such, my maid will be there or my auntie will be there, who's my
Okay.
mother's sister. Other schoolmates and classmates
Uh,
found it a bit
disturbing.
uncomfortable that women folk are actually entering the male toilet just to assist this guy to do his needs.
Okay.
So then some of them anonymously went and made a complaint to the principal that
Yeah.
we are finding it very uncomfortable. AWA's staff came in for a meeting and we brought up this issue and they came up with a solution, and therapists from AWA will actually train these 4 to 5 boys
Okay.
on how to lift and how to carry and how to support me
Okay.
so that I can walk with their support and still use the toilet
Okay.
and move to classrooms without having to depend on my female caregiver and my auntie.
Okay.
The lowest class in the primary school
Mhm.
used to be at the utmost top floor of the school,
Okay.
and I was not able to walk completely, not even like how I do now with the rollator and all that.
Okay.
Then with the help of the principal and the school, along with AWA staff and medical documents, we wrote into Ministry of Education
Okay.
and requested the Ministry of Education to allow the school to allocate a classroom for my usage at the ground floor level.
Okay. I don't know. Are you the first one to suggest this idea in Singapore?
I think I did,
Okay.
but
Thank you so much. Thank you so
I
much.
don't have any proof to say
Yeah,
I'm the one
yes.
who did it, but I think I did.
But anyway, thank you very much because of you, I think a lot of people who are disabled, handicapped, and who can't really other challenges who can't go up itself.
Yeah.
Their class is placed down, and then
Sure.
because of you, I guess I believe that there's lift built down.
Yeah.
Particularly for staffs and for
Yes,
people
yes.
like this. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. My pleasure. I want the lives of persons with disabilities to improve. I finished my N's and then I finished my O's.
At Sec 5, okay.
Sec 5.
And then you went to
After the O's, I qualified for ITE, Institute of Technical Education.
Okay, I see.
I did my diploma in international business.
Okay, wow.
Right.
And then after diploma?
After diploma, I moved on to do my bachelor's degree, also with MDIS.
Okay.
So roughly about a year after I graduated was when I landed on my first job. But during the time of looking for employment, I faced a lot of issues like you know, our organization is a fast-paced organization. We don't know whether we can accommodate someone who is, you know, at a pace that you are working because you have limitations and you are slow. That's one of the things.
Yeah.
Not many Singapore companies are open to employment at this point.
There wasn't previously or right now?
It's been always there, and I must say that though the government is encouraging Singapore companies to be more receptive
Yeah.
towards hiring people with disabilities, I think generally the numbers are still lower than those international and expatriate companies. Culture in Singapore or in most of the Asian country is very different. You know, whereby you need to be in the office to work.
I see.
All right, that's one thing, and you need to follow certain procedures
Okay.
and SOPs that the company has set up for 20 or 30 donkey years, and they are not willing to sit down and say, okay, since we have a person with disability, modify our SOP or modify our workflow
Okay.
in order to enable him
Yeah.
to be more efficient and more productivity.
Okay.
Through distance learning,
Okay.
I've done my master's in human resource management. I did my doctorate in business administration, majoring in managerial science.
Wow. Okay. Hi Navin, thank you very much for your life story,
Thank you.
challenges, and your
Pleasure.
success. So viewers, let's thank Navin for his life story and wish him all the best for bigger successes. And
Thank
I'm
you all
sure
very much.
he can do it. Yeah. So thank you very much for hearing us, and I am Sanjeevan, your very own Jeev from Believers Believe to Success. Believe in yourself, go beyond your limitations, hurdles, and challenges, and become your best. Thank you.